Hello, good evening, everyone. Welcome back. This is Robin from Relationship Cake and Ice Cream. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's good. We're out here on the East Coast. I'm in New Jersey, North New Jersey. Yes, all right. Where I grew up, home of Brick City, Newark, New Jersey. And today, my topic today I like to talk about is dating, the interview process. This is part three of the When Women Soar series. Part two was Why Your Happiness Matters, because I don't think I labeled that. And when women soar, then success can happen for everyone. Okay. When women soar, women do not have to be unheard, unseen, labeled. For us black women, we the angry black woman. All kind of craziness about women exists, and we're not any of that. We're so much more than what normally people see, more than a sex object, more than a I don't know, bossy, that seemed to be a word they used to use a lot, bossy. Not that you asserting yourself, just that you're bossy. But anyway, today I'm going to talk about the dating process, which is the interview process. I just want to start out with, do people date anymore? And if they do date, how do they date? Do they do online dating? Like, what is this dating? Do guys still call girls, or now girls call guys too? What you say, let's go, grab a bite to eat, go to a movie, an opera. Well, people not doing much of that right now, right, with this coronavirus. But I'm just wondering, what is the dating process like in today's society? I have no idea. But years ago, it was like women shouldn't be calling men should pursue women if they're interested in you. If you were interested in them, you just kind of had to try to throw a side eye, be flirty. Otherwise, you would be seen as too forward, fresh. They had words for it back then, okay? Which I'm not going to use any of those words now, because I know still today a lot of those words is thrown around, only they got new ones that they use it along with the old ones. If a woman sees something she likes, that's a problem. But if a man sees something he likes, that's okay. But that's another subject. So let's talk about dating. You got past the meeting, you got past the, original conversation. You've passed all of that. Now you're to the point where you're actually spending time together, getting to know each other, likes and dislikes. So let me just say, the interview process for dating begins with the very first date or meeting. Okay, you don't have to be sitting down having coffee, but it starts the moment that you look at each other and you have that connection. Okay, whether it's the first time you see each other, the second time, the third time, but it's the moment you have that connection, the interview process has begun. Okay, and when you do have that first date or meeting, it's going to determine whether you're going to have a second date or a second time meeting up with a person, and a third, and so on and so on. Because those dates, meetings, whatever you want to call them, at that time you're interviewing each other. You're watching, you're listening, you're seeing what you like, what you don't like, because um, eventually a relationship goes on beyond what you see. Okay, because originally people connect off of what they see most of the time, not what they hear. Maybe if it's a blind date, you might hear something before you actually, meet the person. But most of the time, we see someone, we see something we like, boom, we connect. That's what happens, okay? So you have that first date. And on those beginning dates, what usually happens is everybody's on their best behavior. Because let's be honest, if you really like him or you really like her, those things you know are an issue for you. You're not gonna let them be seen. Okay, when you feel comfortable with the person, you might be more like yourself, your authentic self. But on those first dates or months that you get to know each other, you're both putting on your best face. Okay, so if they're really interested in you, you know they're gonna try to put all the bad stuff up. Okay, but there's things you should pay attention to on the first date. Okay, and we're going to talk about the things you should pay attention to on the first date. Okay, you have to pay attention. All right, men and women, but women, we especially need to pay attention because a lot of times we are pulled in what they call a gaslight in. You know, we're pulled in, we're absorbed by that. That's how we get vested into a person, a relationship, is what they say, how they touch you, you know, innuendos, gestures, you know, eye contact. Those little things draw us in. Okay, so we have to be very careful. We have to pay attention. Make sure we hear exactly what a person is saying and not what we want to hear. So let me start with communication. Are you honest and open when you communicate? And is your date? And do any responses that the person that you're dating have seem guarded in any manner? Okay. Truth flows. A lot of times when you're lying, you have to think about how you're going to formulate your answer. Okay. So you have to pay very close attention to the communication. Is it honest? Is it open? Does it seem genuine? Okay. Genuine communication, you'll know after a while how genuine it is. Okay. You have to pay attention. Is he giving you full attention or is he on his phone? Okay. Is the phone getting more attention than you? That tells you how much interested he is in what you have to say. If his attention is diverted constantly by other things, I mean, it could be nerves. It could be nerves. Okay, I can say that it could be nerves. But if a person really is interested in you and you don't know each other, they surely must be interested in what you have to say. So you have to pay very close attention to where his attention is. Or you find yourself repeating yourself constantly. Does he hear what you're saying? Okay, if he doesn't hear what you're saying and you find yourself repeating over and over again, his mind is somewhere else. He may be more interested in having sex with you than actually getting to know you. And if that's all you're interested in, that's not a problem. But if you're interested in really getting to know this person, maybe for a long term relationship, if it gets to that, then you want to pay attention because if a person is not listening to you in the beginning of the relationship, most likely they won't be listening to you any of the relationship. I saw this thing on the news maybe a couple of years ago now where they did some type of experiment and they said men hear women like this, wang, 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 wang. Okay, and you know, if he's hearing you like that means he doesn't hear words you're saying. It's just an annoying sound over and over and over again. He's not into you. He's not tuned into you, the person. So, you know, communication. Communication is very important right from the beginning. I know this goes without saying, but I must say it, hygiene. Okay, you got to pay attention to hygiene. That's very important. Okay, no one wants to be with somebody that has poor hygiene, bad breath. Okay, you have to pay attention to those kind of good things. I know it goes without saying, but I just want to throw that in there. You don't want to be telling the person to brush their teeth, take a bath or a shower a couple of days a week. That's part of the interview process, paying attention to that. That's important. Okay, all right. So let's move on to physical attraction. Does physical attraction take over your ability to think rationally about what you're seeing and hearing? You know, a lot of times a person is so into how another person looks. Women, we have words. Oh boy, he's fine, fine as hell. We go through those kind of things as women too. Okay. But you have to ask yourself, is that clouding your ability to think rationally about what you see and hearing? There was a lady years ago, she used to say, beauty fades away, but ugly lasts forever. Okay. So being physically attractive is wonderful. Okay. But it's not the end all to all. That's the thing. It's what gets you to the point of communicating with a person, maybe going out with them and dating them. But it shouldn't be the only thing that you have to hold on to in order for you to feel like you should get to know that person. Okay. You also have to ask yourself, if you date in, does the other person seem like they're physically attracted to you? Physical attraction, like I said, that's what usually draw two people together for the dating process anyway, is physical attraction. So you don't want to be physically attracted to somebody and you put your net out there and they're not physically attracted to you. They might just be going along for the ride. And that might not be what you want, because that may lead to heartache and heartbreak. Okay? And a broken person. So you want to make sure they are physically attracted to you, not just riding along with the wave, okay, at the time. Some people do that. Some people might get to know you because they need a place to stay. Maybe they need some money. Maybe you're a good cook. Maybe you keep your house nice and clean and your sheets smell good. Okay, maybe you pay all your bills. You got a nice car. You want to know that somebody is getting to know you for you, not just for what you have to offer. Okay, and that they're physically attracted to you. Okay, not want to get to you to get to your best friend. Okay, or not want to get to you because they seen, somebody, a relative that they really want. So, well, we have to talk about all these things because these are things that do go on. Believe it or not, they do happen. Okay, you can usually tell if a person is physically attracted to you by the comments and gestures, you know. And let me just say with that also people use those kind of things also to draw you in. Okay, so getting back to being authentic and genuine. You have to make sure the comments are genuine and gestures are genuine. People that, let's say, if I'm doing nice things because it's something I want and this is not my usual behavior, then most likely it won't continue. After a while, to stop. We know that some behaviors stop, once a person ends up in a committed relationship or marriage. We know that some things stop because people get busy with living with life. Okay, so some things might stop, but that physical attraction to each other, you got to keep that kindled. Okay, you have to keep that going and whatnot. It's not the end all to all, but if two people really like each other, you want to look nice for each other. You want to look good for your man. You want your man to look good for you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about if they get sick or they have some kind of tragic accident that may alter their appearance. Okay, love should keep you there when that happens. However, you want to make sure you look good for your man. You want to make sure your man still look good for you. Okay. Woo. Now, also, we talk about behavior. You have to look at things like what you allow. Like, does he have habits you're uncomfortable with? Maybe he snort coke on weekends. Maybe he get drunk on weekends. You know what I'm saying? It's these behaviors that you willing to deal with. Maybe you went out on the third date and he got pissy drunk, okay? Dropped you off a block from your house, told you to go home. Is that something you want to deal with? Called you the next day, told you didn't remember a damn thing. Is that something you want to deal with? That's all part of a